Hey, Free Mind, you crazy for this. Soulful. It's like our responsibility to make us feel something. You know, to make people feel what we feeling. Hey, yo.
So we have lost another legend. And earlier today, I also saw a crazy headline that I saw that was a little perplexing to me. It said, Doctor Strange received second worst audience score ever for an MCU movie, which just tells me a lot, but does it really? We're going to talk about that ahead. Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is the Ready, Set, Go preview show, a show that we do on Sunday night, regardless of whether it is a holiday or not. But this show allows us to come together, spend a little time, get the week started off on the right foot. And as part of that, I give you a rundown of some of the content that is going to be coming out from the channel. We talk about some news and current events, and we generally have a good time. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are out there. I had an opportunity to spend some time with my mom earlier today. We went over, we hung out, we ate some good food, and I then did the dishes with my dad, and then we came back home, and we've been spending time this evening together as a family. And now I'm here with you guys. Also want to acknowledge all of those moms that have fur babies, because fur babies count. But on a more serious note, I also want to acknowledge all of those people out there that no longer have their mother or even their parents, for that matter. I know that holidays like this can be a very tough one for people that have lost their mothers, and so I want to take a moment to like acknowledge how difficult days like this can be for people. At one point, my mother was sick, and I did not talk to my mom for a long time because the idea of not having my mother was too much for me emotionally to actually deal with, you know. And she actually reminded me of that just recently, that my brother nor I called her a tremendous amount during that time when she was ill. And it was just a tough time, you know, but I definitely recognize that I'm getting older, that she's getting older, and my parents are getting older. And I try to treasure each moment that we are able to spend together, because I never want to miss out on anything. So but again, definitely have my thoughts are out with the moms out there, the fur moms. And again, seriously, for those folks that have lost their mothers and don't have the ability to celebrate with her on a day like this. So as I mentioned, I'm going to give you guys a preview of some of the content that's going to be coming out from the channel this week. So I want to go ahead and jump into that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about George Perez. We're going to talk a little bit about George Perez, who actually passed away from pancreatic cancer, or complications associated with pancreatic cancer. We're going to talk about the Doctor Strange movie. We're not going to do any spoilers because I have not seen it. So it's impossible for me to spoil it. But I will ask those folks that have seen it to give me their impressions of the movie. But do not do that just yet. Let me give you guys a quick rundown of some of the content that is going to be coming out from the channel this week. And I will tell you, it's kind of a heavy week. I had the entire week already scheduled, already planned out. And then my folks over at CGC came through for me. The folks at CGC came through me, and they handed over to me the data that I needed to be able to do the top 10 most submitted video. And if you haven't seen this, this is a video where I basically run down the books that we as a community are sending in to CGC. And I run through what's happening with these books, why these books may be on the list, what's happening with the values, what's happening with values over time, etc., etc. So I had to rejigger the schedule as a result of getting this data from them. And we are like 2 months behind. So we're going to play a little bit of a catch up this month. We're going to release the March data this week. And then I want to try to get to maybe the April data, maybe next week or the week after. I have not decided, but that is coming. So let me give you guys a rundown of what's coming out. Clearly, the top 10 most submitted books in the CGC video is dropping this week. I am also doing another installment of Buy These Books Now. This is essentially where Doug and I take a look at blue ocean books, books that are essentially undervalued books out there that you may have in the back of a long box. You may have them potentially unbagged and boarded because historically they haven't been worth much. You may be able to find them in a long bin or out there. If you're out there hunting, you may just be able to find these books relatively inexpensively. These are some of the blue ocean books, and we're going to preview some of those books this week. So buy these books now. The CGC most submitted video that's going to drop, and then I'm also going to release a video called it's basically offering up tips and pointers to avoid scams, because we've been talking a lot about scams and possible scams and people trying to separate you from your money. So I'm going to release a video that talks about scams, partly because I like to work within themes. If I'm going to say, hey, this might be a scam, or hey, this is a scam, I then want to say, hey, you might want to avoid these types of scams by doing these things. So it is one theme that we are operating against. And then I'm also going to release a bonus video. I'm going to release a bonus video on Friday. I picked up a book from Clayface, who was featured in the Guide to Smart Comic Collecting that Doug and I dropped last year. I picked up a book from him, so we're going to do a bonus video of like a haul plus an unboxing of a Silver Age book. And it's been a while since I purchased something for myself, but we're going to do that this week. So those are the videos that are coming out. We're also doing a live show. We're going to do another live stream on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then in addition to all the video content, there is going to be one podcast that is going to be dropping. And you might wonder, what podcasting platform? All of them. All of the podcasting platforms where podcasts are available. If you search for Regie Collects, you will be able to find me. Sitting here on my desk is a wonderful piece of artwork from my daughter. And you may wonder what these big things are here. If you were sitting in my vantage point, or if you are a Patreon member and visited the comic book room, you know that those are the two lights that are above my head. So my daughter has drawn a photo of Dad in the comic book room, basically making videos. You gotta love it. Super, super talented girl. I couldn't even draw that. I'm gonna be honest with you. She has talent. Maybe she will be drawing a future comic for Dad, or maybe even a cover. We shall see how it rolls out. So let me scroll down. I'm way behind on the comments here. Give a shout out to a couple of people. Squirrel Madness is up in here. I think he is the OG. Squirrel Madness is the OG Blue Wrench tonight. I think Tina is out. So Squirrel Madness and my man Matt Woods are holding it down. I definitely appreciate both of you guys. And if there's another Blue Wrench in here that I haven't seen, I definitely appreciate you. Pretty fly for a Filipino guy. It is good to see you, brother. Who else do we have? And Ken, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Dave is up in here. Well done. You actually see the light emanating. She's a talented girl, man. She is a talented girl. I have none of that talent. Her mother can draw like nobody's business. My wife is a talented woman. She draws, an elephant or a giraffe. It actually looks like that thing. I just don't have that. So, Storage Bag, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Scrolling through, Chuck is up in here. Chuck, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Can't wait for the ASM variant with Regie and the Gibbon on it, brother. Marvel's minimum print quality is 3,000 books. 3,000 books. And if they sell them to me for about $2 each, that is a lot of money. Plus the cover. Woo, that is a lot, my friend. I'm going to tell you that right now. There you go. Herman's on it, man. This is the premium cover for Isolation. And if you do not buy one, I will take it personally. Shout out to my daughter, Nicholas. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Rodney's up in here. My man, Climbing Comics. How you doing? It is always good to see you, my friend. Randy Resnake is up in here. A lot of the OGs are in here. I don't know why people would say this. Stupid question, probably, but I didn't. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying I wasn't going to pay attention. I'm like, I always pay attention. But I didn't pay attention if they told me or not. I sent my first ever comic to CGC. I went to the comic book store to send it. Does it get shipped back to me or the LCS? You need to check the paperwork, brother. There should have been paperwork that was in there. My guess is that if your LCS sends it out, your LCS is going to be the recipient of said book. So Kevin will have to return to the LCS to pick it up. That is my assumption. That's a gross assumption on my part because I don't know whether you filled out the paper form or whether you did it online or whether they are doing it online. My guess is that it's going to go back to the LCS. Pretty fly. There you go, brother. My kids and your kids, man, just let them do the artwork, brother, because you have no talent, artistic talent. Like, never mind. I'm joking. All good. Henry, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you from Miami. First live show. This is dedicated to my man Henry from Miami. Everybody gets one show, brother. This one is yours. I hope it's good for you. Scrolling to some of the comments here. Steve Conge, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Alex, how you doing, brother? It is good, brother. That's why sometimes, as of late, cannot see through this contact because the pollen lands on the contact and makes the vision a little blurry. Joe, I'm glad that you made it safely to your destination. It is good to see you, brother. Welcome. Scrolling through, Climbing Comics is asking whether people. Here's the thing: if you went to the LCS and you picked up a free comic book day comic and you read it and you enjoyed it, I want to know what comic you happen to pick up. Let me know what should people read. If you picked up books on New Comic Book Day, I had somebody reach out to me and ask me if I was what books I recommended for free comic book day. I was like, hey, I haven't been to a free comic book day in quite some time, my friend. An actual live free comic book day on free comic book day. Regie has not done that, but I know that there are a lot of folks out there that have. So, Alan, thank you for asking the question, brother. That was actually on my list. It is literally on my list. It is literally on the list for me to talk about, and you prompted it. So thank you, brother. Scrolling through some of the comments here. I am scrolling. I am way behind. Brother, I'm gonna be honest with you. I consider that a talent because I too can sleep through an earthquake. I can sleep in a moving car 5 minutes after it moves. I can sleep on a plane before it takes off as soon as it starts to make that engine noise, and I just get talent. Talent on loan from God, as Rush Limbaugh used to say. Scrolling through the comments here. Reggie's up in here. It's good to see you, brother. All right. So at the beginning of the show, I alluded to the fact that Doctor Strange received the second worst audience score ever for an MCU movie. We are going to talk about that in a little bit, so bear with me. The more important thing that I want to talk about is the fact that we have lost another legend. Another legend has actually passed away, and I will tell you, pancreatic cancer, man, is nothing nice. It is nothing nice. A buddy of mine, his wife passed away from pancreatic cancer. This is how my mind remembers the sequence. She was basically pregnant. We congratulated her on the pregnancy. She went to give birth. Shortly thereafter, they found some weird stuff, and come to find out she had pancreatic cancer. Baby's, of course, been born. She gets discharged from the hospital. Before we know it, I am now at a funeral for her. Like, her progression was so quick. It was so quick. It was this, like, she got pregnant. She had the baby. Before you know, we were at the funeral. Technically, if you back up, it was like they got married. She got pregnant. She had the baby. And then I was at the funeral. That's how quick sometimes pancreatic cancer can actually take you. And I think it was in December of last year that George actually announced that he had pancreatic cancer and had somewhere between 6 to 12 months to live. And he succumbed to the illness just a few days ago, I do believe. So George Perez, who gave his life to Wonder Woman, dies at 67, working for both Marvel and DC. He created comic book series that brought superheroes together. and was the co-founder of the new Teen Titans, wearing one of his iconic shirts, man. It's just a lot of the photos you see of him, he is rocking a very colorful shirt like that. So George Perez, a celebrated comic book artist and writer who gave new life to Wonder Woman in the 1980s and helped create stories for DC and Marvel Comics that brought together some of the biggest heroes of the comic book world, including the new Teen Titans, died on Friday at his home in Florida. He was 67 years of age. And it says here that, you know, his career spanned for 4 decades, known for richly detailed drawings and his enthusiasm for stories filled with superheroes. The more capes and cowls, the better. And as you guys know, I am a huge fan of spandex and capes and cowls and all that kind of stuff. But this article that I found on the New York Times just does a really good job of kind of walking through his career. It highlights here that people like Patty Jenkins, who is the director for the Wonder Woman series, was inspired by the character. Talks about how, you know, the version of Wonder Woman that he actually brought to life was one that resonated with not just boys, but also with women and girls as well, because of how he depicted her. It just goes on to just talk about what George Perez means to comic book fans, means to the industry, means to other creators. And Jim Lee actually wrote, "We lost another of the absolute greats this weekend." And he says his career is truly a testament to what one can achieve in life when singularly focused on what one loves to do. He also talked a little bit about Neil Adams here. And George Perez was born June 9th, 1954. In the Bronx. I did not know he was self-taught, so that's very, very interesting. But again, another legend. George Perez has passed, and wanted to make sure that I took a moment to speak on that. I know that a lot of people are huge fans of George Perez. A lot of DC fans just appreciate everything that he's done. It's amazing. And I spoke about this before with Neil Adams, just the impact that a single person can have on a couple of generations of people. It is really amazing. People that he probably never met, but had an impact on. And one thing I've heard about George Perez is that he was always just so pleasant. Like, no matter where you saw him, how you saw him, when you saw him, he was always extremely pleasant to the fans and to people that had an opportunity to speak with him. So Jared is pointing out here, this sucks. We're losing all the great artists, and it's sad because they gave us such amazing stories and artwork. The wonderful thing, man, let's be honest, right? Let's look at the bright side, is that we have a lot of their artwork to look back upon, right? The legacy that has been left by these creators is one that will not be forgotten. And I guess if you're gonna come here and you're gonna spend some time here, then you wanna maybe do something that people remember and that people appreciate. And I think as a result of what Neil Adams and George Perez have done, these gentlemen, these names will never be forgotten. And I think that that's really a testament. Again, kind of going to what it is that Jim Lee said. These men, these creators, will never be forgotten because of the impact that they have had on all of us. Like we are the embodiment and the continuation of them. So again, Kevin says, I had the pleasure of meeting him. Mr. Perez was a wonderfully kind-hearted person. Again, that's something I've heard repeatedly. He was the artist I tried to copy when I was seriously into drawing. Again, just inspiring, man. No doubt about it. I'm scrolling through some of the comments here. Still not sure I can think of another comic book artist who conveys facial expressions like George Perez. He was the master of the craft. Alex says, 2 legendary creators gone within weeks of one another. We need to appreciate the creators we have while they're still here. Give them their flowers while they can still smell them. Well said, brother. Well said. I think that's one of the great things, about, and I mentioned this before, like I'm not too big on signatures, right? Like signatures aren't my jam, But if I have an opportunity to get a signature from a creator that I really like and I can do it face to face, then that's awesome because it's more about the experience than just the signature for me. And this is personal opinion. And again, it's like I think about and I go back to this example because this is maybe one of the more real examples that I have. I did not want to go to the con when Stan Lee was there, but I'm glad that I did because I had an opportunity to meet him. I'm so fortunate that I had an opportunity to go down to CGC and meet Chris Claremont and spend an entire day with him and have my book signed by him because those are memories that will not go away, right? I have the books over here, which is great. But the experience, the memory of asking questions and interacting was one that I will never forget. And I wish I had been able to do that with Stan when he was a younger man. But such is life. Such is life. So scrolling through some way better shirts than Ethan Hawke. Way better shirts than Ethan Hawke, right? Perez was such a legend. Everyone talks about how nice he was. Exactly. I have never heard anyone say anything bad about him, which is just it's crazy. And it's a testament because everybody has off days, man. Everybody has off days. I may have had one today. Let's just say that. The bronze page, George was one of my favorite artists when I was a kid. He drew Avengers, Inhumans, Astonishing Tales, and DC also. I met him in person for an autograph. Awesome man and artist. There you go. Make history every day. Never regret your life. Steve Congé. Man, that sounds like something that would be in like a fortune cookie. That was deep over there. I didn't know New York dudes could do stuff like that. I don't know that I appreciate you guys could do something like that, Scrolling through it, am I missing some first timers? I know that there was at least one person that was a first timer. Did I miss others? If so, if you are a first time live streamer, throw up first so I can acknowledge you. It is true. I had the honor of meeting Mr. Perez, and he was an absolute kind person to everyone in the line. There you go. That takes a lot, man. That takes a lot. 100% about the opportunity to meet and interact with creators. What is that? Oh, wow. I met Michael Turner at a con. That's dope. That talk about going too early, man. What was he like, 40? Was he like 40 years old? That's just crazy, man. I mean, again, you think about all the artists that are out there right now, and it's like if you have an opportunity to meet them and to share with them what your artwork means to you or their writing, whatever it happens to be, I say seize the opportunity. It kind of goes back to what I was saying about my mother and my father, right? Seizing these moments, man. My boy doesn't know this, but I secured tickets. I secured tickets for my father, myself, and my boy to go to a football game, a soccer game. And my boy will have an opportunity to go down on the field and be with like I think it's like 50 total kids, but he'll go down on a professional soccer field and be able to play around. And so all the guys are going to go and we're going to hang out and we're going to do this thing. And it's about making the memories because you just never know how long any of us have. You know what I'm saying? You never know how long any of us have. So Herman says, I hold my Michael Turner covers. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've been working on a video for quite some time. I've basically been trying to pull together all of the Michael Turner covers that I have in the 100K collection. And I've been working on this off and on since before I even moved here. But I have a bin set aside where I'm basically trying to pull together all these books. I'm going to be honest with you, brother. It still counts, Kevin. Kevin, it still counts. This is your fifth or sixth live stream. It still counts, bro. We're going to count it. We're going to count it. It is. That is a graded burger time from the Carolina collection. It was a gift from the Go Collect folks. They hooked me up with that. I don't do any graded video games. I only have one vice, and it is floppy comics, man. But Burger Time is a game that I played as a kid on my father's. I think it might have been like ColecoVision. He had basically when he was dating my mother, we used to go over and he had like 3 games, and one of them was Burger Time, and I used to play the heck out of some Burger Time. And so the Go Collect folks hooked me up with that one right there. So there you go. That's what that is. Scrolling through the comments here, trying to see whether there's any other first timers. I did not see anybody else throw their hand up? Oh, storage bag. Oh, there we go. I did not recognize that name. I did not, because that is a name that might stick with me. That one might stick with me. But I did not see that. My neighbor Neil. Well done, brother. It's good to see you. I've always hey, check it out. When my for my mother, we got together. I think it was it might have been for a birthday. I can't remember, or maybe Christmas. We surprised her, where my siblings and all of us, we went away to a cabin in the Smoky Mountains. And in this massive cabin for like 16 people or whatever, they had a video game. And the arcade game had maybe 20 games on it. It was like one of those super deluxe joints, right? And I played Burger Time like nobody's business on this game. And it was a full size like cabinet. And I'm like, I'm getting one of these things. It literally had like 20 games in there. Some of them I was familiar with, like Burger Time and Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, but there were a couple I didn't, and I still enjoyed those. It was like going back in time. It was like going back in time. I was over my parents' house earlier today, and I was playing my father's Xbox. I had no clue how to work the thing. No clue how to work the thing. I haven't played a video game in a very long time. A Supreme Love. What is that? Reggie, thank you again for your video about selling, fear of selling. Sometimes it's better to hear those kinds of things from another. Man, again, what I try to do here on the channel, man, is to help make people smarter about the hobby. And as part of that, I put things out there for people's consideration. Like, I'm not big on telling grown people how to spend their money. That's not my jam. It's not my jam to make people feel bad for the mistakes that they made or the things that they do. But I will give you a couple of things to think about, and a couple of things to consider. And in my head, if I can create space for you to think clearly about a challenge or something that you're facing, I think that in that space, if you're thinking clearly about it, you can probably come up with a solution that actually makes sense for you. My goal is not to create the video to say, do this, but to say, hey, here's some interesting stuff that I've thought about. What do you think about this? If you're dealing with this, that's kind of the jam. That's kind of the jam that I focus on. So I remember Pong, brother. Ooh. All right. So let's keep this thing moving again. Shout out to the Perez family. I cannot imagine how difficult this is. Even though, George was sick and announced that he was sick, he was not exactly an old guy. I mean, he was a relatively young guy still. I think had a lot in the tank. I'm staring at his face here. Clearly still had a lot of life left in him. So my thoughts are definitely with the family, because they're probably going through some tough stuff right now. Even though they knew that it was coming, I can't imagine what it's like to lose, a father, a husband, all of that kind of stuff. So as we make a little bit of a tough turn here, I want to share this with you guys real quick. So this is one of the things that I saw earlier today regarding the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. This cinema score, which has been around for a couple of decades, has given the Doctor Strange movie a B+ score. And as a result of that, a couple of headlines have come out that basically highlight that the Doctor Strange movie receives the second worst audience score ever for an MCU movie. And again, I don't want to spoil this movie for anyone. I have not seen the movie. I'm going to be completely honest. But I saw this, and so I wanted to go investigate. I wanted to find out what the cinema score was. I wanted to look up how this movie actually ranks versus the other MCU movies. I wanted to look up what was actually happening in the box office. And so I think we're going to try to look at a little bit of all of that. But essentially what Cinema Score does is they're based out of Las Vegas, but they go to theaters across North America, including Canada. And they basically do intercept things where they see people at theaters. They give them a flyer of some sort where people basically score the movie. They give the movie anywhere from an A+ to an F. They also talk about like, is this a movie that you would rent? Is it a movie that you would see again? But they basically score it A plus through F. And the Doctor Strange movie has basically received a B plus. And what I think that they do is they are basically looking at how well the movie lives up to the hype that is created by the marketing effort for that movie. Put another way, they are capturing real world anecdotal feedback as people come out of the theater. So if you guys think about all of the buildup for this movie, there's been a lot of marketing, a lot of buildup, a lot of cameos. This is going to be the future. And I guess what this score of a B plus essentially says is that potentially the movie did not live up to the hype that had been created for it. That is essentially my interpretation of this score that has been received by the Doctor Strange movie. So let me pull this article up real quick. The one in particular that actually had this title, and you can see again here that this was on the direct. And I've actually cited the direct before when I've looked at certain movies in the past, but you can see the headline there, and it basically says, the movie just arrived in theaters, and despite earning an impressive opening at the box office, reactions are proving to be mixed, to say the least. From the disappointment of absent cameos to the lack of enjoyment for the director's horror style, this may be among the most divisive entries into the Marvel universe. And it says there have been plenty of highs and lows in Phase 4, highlighting here that Eternals suffered the worst audience reaction in MCU history, and Spider-Man No Way Home placed among the best just 1 month later. And I want to scroll down on this thing to show you guys here again. Doctor Strange has officially received a B plus score, tied for the second worst. The rating places the Doctor Strange movie on equal footing with the first Thor film, only surpassing the Eternals by a score which received a score of a B. And I'm curious, if you guys saw this movie, how does this movie compare to Eternals? Because if Eternals scored a B plus and this one, scored a B, and this one scored a B plus, I am on struggle bus, because the Eternals was like watching paint dry. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Eternals was impossible to watch, almost Batman. Neil, you are harsh, brother. You are harsh. Strange expectations, no pun intended, but I'm sticking it. There you go, brother. People are overhyped, possibly cameos to be absurd degree. Everybody and their mother was supposed to be in this one. And I guess maybe if you listen to all that and then you went into it assuming that it was going to be all of these cameos, then I could get it. Psychedelic says different than Eternals. Doctor Strange was way better. He put three A. There are 3 A's in there, so it has to be true. Anytime you put extra ones in there, 9 Point says this movie is action-packed. Trev says it was about the same as Eternals for me. Both movies had good action. Okay, there you go. It was really enjoyable, especially coming from a Raimi. Is it Raimi? Sam Raimi? I think it's Raimi. If I mispronounce that, my apologies. Did someone say Eternals shouldn't even count as a Marvel movie? Oh my goodness. Oh man, don't pick a fight with Neil. Don't pick a fight with Neil. Saw Doctor Strange 1 in IMAX. And it was amazing. I'm going to do the same for Doctor Strange 2. There you go. Only way to see Doctor Strange. Say Acid might be the other way, because that is the rumor back in the day, that people were doing a little bit of too much extra when they were drawing, illustrating, painting. Eternals make sitting out of life. Scrolling through, I would buy the Strange movie, but not the Eternals. There you go. Neil says AAA hype can ruin that's part of the question. Here's the thing. So can hype, I want to hear you all's thought. Can hype ruin a movie? But then also, could scores like this, or where critics are poo-pooing a movie, also ruin a movie. Because here's what I've heard. I've heard some people say that the Morbius movie was not that bad. They say that the Morbius movie was not as bad as like the Rotten Tomatoes score, or the critics that have spoken about it. They've said that that movie was not as bad as people have made it out to be. So my point here is, can hype ruin a movie if it doesn't live up to the expectations? And could negative and bad scores from critics and places like this score, what is it, cinema box, what do they call that thing? I can't even remember what it was called. Cinema score. Can that also ruin a movie? That is my question to you all. Morbius was, where'd that comment go? Morbius was a movie in search of itself. It's very profound, Alex. It's very profound. It's a very profound question. Supreme Love says Morbius was not that bad. No, it was. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the ... I was not ready for the ending. You caught me off guard. What is that scene? Doctor Strange and 4X felt like it was on a roller coaster ride for real. Don't watch it if you have a bad back. Well done. Battlefield Earth. Best movie era ever. Terrible reviews. Have I seen that? I don't know if I've seen that. The scores are deceptive. I try to ignore the hype and not watch previews of stuff I'm going to watch anyway, says Clyde. Yeah. Well done. Well done on that, Squirrel Madness. Well done. I know you've seen it, Squirrel Madness. I think I saw that on Instagram. I thought I saw you in the theaters. But this is a very good point. Let's not spoil it for people. I have no intention of going to the theater. I'm gonna be completely honest. I will see it when it makes its way here to my house. This movie has ruined the price of a couple of books. Oh man. Morbius was ungood. Hey, if you were wondering if ungood was a real word, not only is it a real word, it is also a technical word. It's a technical word, ungood. Hype can ruin a movie experience, which is why I avoid reading and talking about movies before I go to see them these days. I respect it. Morbius had lower Rotten Tomato score than Showgirls. Wasn't there also maybe something a little bit to the Rotten Tomato score for Morbius? I don't listen to all the movie stuff, but I felt like there was a little bit of maybe sabotage that was going on with the Rotten Tomato score. But you guys may have to help me out on that. Morbius was bland. Internet has too many pre-release info and leaks. Imagine seeing No Way Home in the 90s without knowing much about it. Okay, well maybe it was that bad. Okay, Morbius is Sony Nuff said. Oh my goodness, you guys are hilarious. Don't Neil, they are taking shots at you tonight. Neil, maybe that was sarcasm. Maybe it was sarcasm on Neil's part. It's unclear. It's unclear. Maybe Neil, will I see you at the upcoming? I think there's a potluck this coming weekend. My wife informed me that there's a potluck this coming weekend here in the community. Maybe I will see you there, and you can tell me more about more about your movie preferences. Way to look on the bright side, brother, because sitting right behind me, 7.5 back there, ASM 101. There you go. Sucked more than blood. You guys are hilarious. All right. So for those folks that are coming in a little bit late, we are talking about, if I can share my screen with you once again, it appears that Doctor Strange 2 has received the second worst audience score ever for an MCU movie. So the question is, how does it compare to the other movies? So let's scroll down and check it out. And it says Cinema Score determines its ratings by polling audiences straight out of the theater in order to gauge initial reactions. And you can see here, a lot of A's. Iron Man, Incredible Hulk is an A-. Iron Man 2 is an A. Thor, the first Thor, scored a B+. A lot of A's, a lot of A+. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, received an A. Guardians of the Galaxy received an A. That was a good movie. I enjoyed that one. Civil War, A. Lot of A's as you work your way down this one. Thor Ragnarok also received an A. Black Panther, A+. Completely agree with that one. You guys can see it. Black Widow received an A-. Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings, and A, Eternals. Again, only a B. Only a B. Only a B is what Eternals received. And then Doctor Strange, the part 2 received a B+. So there you go. So it says here, after years of anticipation, Multiverse of Madness has suffered from the level of excitement following rumors of shocking cameos and spectacular game-changing twist. Raimi instead delivered a horror flick that succeeded as Doctor Strange sequel, but falls as an Avengers level blockbuster is basically what this thing is saying. So what's interesting here is that Rotten Tomatoes actually scored it an 88, which I don't think is all that bad. I don't actually think that that's all that bad for a movie, but again, you guys may have to correct me on that. So one of the next things that I did is I tried to look up some of the scores, not scores, but the actual numbers. I wanted to see some actual numbers. And it says Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness conjures $450 million global debut. And it says Disney and Marvel Studios, Doctor Strange earned an impressive $185 million domestically and $450 million globally this weekend, placing it 11th of all time behind Avengers Age of Ultron and The Incredibles 2. Said it earned 2 times the amount of the opening for the original Doctor Strange movie, which only brought in about $85 million, and about 20% behind that total, behind the total amount that Doctor Strange 1 brought in, which basically means that this movie is potentially going to surpass the first one in a relatively short period of time. Scrolling through this thing, the 7th biggest MCU opening behind Avengers Endgame and also the No Way Home. And then the last thing over here, for a man, Neil, it actually brought in 38% more than The Batman, which brought in $138 million, giving this movie the 36th biggest opening of all time. So again, I wanted to look at the stats. I want to say that this one came out, the stats from Box Office Pro came out a couple of hours ago. So I think that the numbers are relatively current. So some interesting stuff is happening out there. Let me scroll through. Oh my goodness. Evil Dead and Darkman. Oh, I think isn't there a Darkman reboot? I think I saw that in Key Collector app, that there is actually a Darkman reboot that is being debated around there. So I like Eternals. Love the world's building. It was visually stunning. Some of the dialogue and acting was suspect. But Let There Be Carnage was way worse. As my man Steve Conge would say, it is a Sony movie. So there you go. Only 85 million. Have a bunch of lifetimes to make that. Well done. Let me see. I'm scrolling through. Thor: The Dark World should be a C+. Original Thor should be an A-. That's what I kind of wonder, because I felt like the first Thor was better than the second Thor. But again, the scores are very interesting. I'll get flack for this, but Captain Marvel is my least favorite MCU movie. I give it the same score as Catwoman. What is that? Dark World lost me a Natalie Portman and the other guy running after too many. You guys are hilarious. Love and Thunder. Let's see what Love and Thunder can do. It's going to be very interesting when that movie drops to see what it can do. What is it? I think I have some Darkman comics somewhere, or maybe it's easy to get them confused, brother. It is easy to get them confused, no doubt about it. All right. So let me give you guys again a quick little rundown of some of the content that's going to be coming out from the channel. Oh, Free Comic Book Day. What did you guys get? What did you get at Free Comic Book Day? What did you read? And was it good? If you read something good for Free Comic Book Day, drop that in the comment section, because I would like to know that. I meant to circle back on that a little bit earlier. So bring on Black Adam. Yes. So I think it was on Instagram. The Rock was back on set Rock was back on set. He said he dialed in his diet and some other things so that they could do some additional filming for Black Adam. So I don't think that one's in the can just yet. I think they're doing some additional work, and we'll see what happens. Dave is throwing out Dark Crisis. That's a DC book, right? Probably not going to read that. Joking. Did you? Oh, you know what? I think I have like, there were a lot of Darkman comics in there, right? I think was it a newsstand? It might have been a newsstand that I picked up when I bought the Prince Purple Rain newsstands, the X-Men #1 newsstands. Like, it was a whole collection of newsstands, and I think that there might have been a bunch of Darkman in there as well. Let me see. I'm scrolling through some of the comments here. Nottingham was a good free comic book day book, says Steve. What I learned, what it's all good, brother. It is all good. Yeah, exactly. He's been drinking too much of that. What was it, Terramana? Is that his tequila? Drinking too much Terramana and the Zoa, and possibly eating too many of that French toast. That French toast. I like the French toast. I'll be honest with you. It's just like super thick French toast that he eats. L. Smith says his pick was Nottingham. Scrolling through, I enjoyed Deadly Class, says Steve. Scrolling through. Let me see. Scrolling through Judgment Day. What is that? Judgment Day, future MCU movie for sure. Just before they get into Secret Wars and Battle Worlds. You can never go wrong. I actually sold a lot of those. I sold all of those books. Made a couple of bucks off of those, which were nice. I had no real interest in keeping all of them, but sold them, and people absolutely love that Purple Rain comic, no doubt about it. Herman says, where is that? Free Comic Book Day 2022 was better for my kids this year. Archie, Avatar, and the Last Airbender books. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. What is that? Regie hasn't updated. I actually have. I actually literally spoke about it in the last show, Kevin, which tells me you don't watch the live streams, brother. Let's pause on that. No, so I don't actually have an official LCS. I've been buying things through mycomicshop.com, and I've experienced some hiccups with mycomicshop.com. But I'm hoping that things are getting back on track. It's taken a while for them to start sending my books out, but I received books, and I was very pleased with the selection, with the way that the books actually came in, the way that they were packaged. I had no complaints there at all, to be honest. So fingers crossed that things continue. I went to 3 different comic shops for free Comic Book Day. Got a ton of stuff. That's what's up, Mr. E. Love it. All right, cool. What is that? Wait a minute. Cliff Chang did an awesome Purple Rain homage with his cover for Batgirl. That's what's up. All right. I'm teasing, brother. I'm teasing. All right, so let me give you guys again a quick rundown of some of the content that is going to be coming out. We're going to be releasing a podcast on Monday at 10 a.m., so you can definitely listen to some Regie on the go on your preferred podcasting platform. Just search Regie Collects, and you should be able to find it. I'm also going to be releasing a video this week talking about how you can avoid scams, because I've been talking a lot about scams in a host of different videos, so we're going to offer up a couple of tips and pointers. Definitely want to encourage people that have some additional thoughts on how to prevent people from falling for scams to leave those thoughts in the comment section. We're going to release a bonus video this week. It's basically going to be a haul plus a Silver Age unboxing, because I have not bought anything for myself in a while. So I decided to treat myself. So I did that. In addition to those videos, we're going to be releasing the top 10 most submitted books into CGC video. We are 2 months behind. We're going to play catch up this month. The first video comes out this week, and I'm going to run down the top 10 books. And I will tell you, the list for the month of March looks very different from February. It looks very different in terms of the makeup of the books that are there, as well as there's a couple of surprise books that hit the list. I'm going to run it down for you guys this week. And in addition to that, my man Doug put together a really awesome video of Blue Ocean books. We've been talking about Blue Ocean books, and I want to say about a third of the books that we have highlighted in this series over the last 8 months, that are not in Key Collector app have found their way into Key Collector app. I butchered that. Let me do it again. We have done about 8 months of videos on Blue Ocean books, books that are essentially undervalued, not on anyone's radar, books that are not in Key Collector app. A third of those, or about a third of them, have found their way into Key Collector app, which means that they are now on the radar. We are going to run down a couple of really awesome books, and I encourage you guys to check out that video when it comes out. So, and then we're also going to do the live stream. We're going to do the live stream on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I can get my stuff together, we're going to have a guest on the show because it's been a while since we've had a guest on. So I think I'm going to have a guest. Fingers crossed that work is not crazy this week, and I can actually take the time to be creative and come up with a good show. So keep your fingers and toes crossed for me. With that said, shout out to all of the mothers out there that are celebrating Mother's Day. You still have a couple of more hours. Make sure your significant other and or your children do some dishes, clean the kitchen, sweep the floor, vacuum, do something out there. If you have your mom or your wife, go do something. That's what I'm about to go do. Take care, guys.